Hello and welcome to this edition of the InFOCUS video podcast from the Radio and Television Business Report. It is presented by .fm, streaming, social, podcast, or broadcast. Get a .fm domain name by heading over to get.fm today. And today we are pleased to be chatting with Mr. Steve Jones. He is the chairman and president CEO of Skyview Networks, the national radio advertising organization. Steve has been in that role since April of 2019, and before that spent many years at the former ABC Radio enterprise, starting as a news writer for ABC News Radio in the year that the New York Mets last won the World Series. We hope that this is their year once again. Now, Jones recently made headlines for taking on full ownership of Skyview, and he's here to share a little bit more behind that move, what's ahead for Skyview at the NAB Show, and a little cocktails and conversation preview as well once we all get to Las Vegas. Steve, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Adam. Right there over my shoulder, that's Shea Stadium. That's the stadium that preceded Citi Field, and that is a Subway Series Mets-Yankees. I don't know the outcome of that game, but the Mets were winning when the photo was taken. So that's all I need.
We're just going to ignore the outcome of that whole series. First of all, congratulations on your recent acquisition of Skyview Networks. What does this meaningful milestone mean for you and for the industry, given your accomplishments seen over the years at Skyview and before that at ABC Radio Networks?
Yeah, we concluded that last week. Thank you. I mean, for me personally, it's a long-term commitment to a company and an industry that, I believe deeply in. It's not a financial transaction that's designed for a flip or an exit. It's a decision that's really about doubling down on Skyview's people, our technology, and the future of the company. And for the industry, I think it sends an important signal that at a time when there's a lot of outside speculation about radio, this transaction, I hope, reinforces that, there's still businesses being built for durability, not just disruption, and that Skyview remains privately owned, independently operated, and strategically very much focused on the future. And for us, it's about the fundamentals, about serving our affiliates, our business partners, our advertisers, and the medium itself. So it's something that I'm excited about. And also for me, I'm completely leaning into our business.
The timing is great for you, I think, heading into the NAB show, because we understand there's some new technology that will be introduced at the conference. What can you share about this?
Yeah, so it's a next generation audio technology that Skyview will be introducing that's called Zerocast. And it's basically designed to modernize how networks distribute, manage, and monetize the audio as the industry transitions from very much a hardware-dependent satellite model to a more flexible IP-based delivery. It allows programming to be delivered wherever it needs to go. And it uses cloud systems and virtual environments in a way that is addressing specifically the auction bandwidth that will be revealed in July of 2027, when satellite delivery will be substantially reduced under the recent legislation that Congress passed. So it's not theoretical. We've taken proven technology and we've synthesized it into this new service that we're offering and will be introducing. And we'd love to have anyone interested in the technology to come and reach out to us and see us at the NAB. We'll have a suite in the Wynn, and we'll have our team on the floor at the NAB, and we're interested in letting everyone know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and have as many of our colleagues come and avail themselves of the technology as possible.
No, I think that's a great new chapter, if you will, for Skyview. I think that there's some in the industry that still associate Skyview with its former relationships with ABC News Radio, which you were a part of, the soon to conclude CBS News Radio. How would you like the industry to recognize Skyview as it's coming into the NAB show?
So, I mean, I think Skyview should be, I hope, recognized first and foremost as a technology-driven audio company. It's not an extension of any single content brand. And, we're proud of our history. We have 30 years serving first sports teams and networks. And so, when we talk about new technology that we're introducing, it's based on this foundation of reliability service that's proven. So we're not out there making representations like a new entity perhaps would. We actually can show the receipts. But we're proud of the history. You mentioned ABC and CBS. Those were clients that we were engaged with. But we've moved on, and we're more future focused now. I'd say if I was to talk about Skyview and how I would want us perceived, Adam, it's that we're a solutions company. We're able to find ways to solve technology issues, sales issues, syndication issues. The entire focus of the company when we engage with our current clients or prospective clients is to understand what is the problem they have and how we can apply our internal intellectual and creative energies to try and solve it.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, we're going to put you back in the green room, and we're going to take a quick break. I'm Adam Jacobson, and you are on the InFOCUS podcast from the Radio and Television Business Report. We'll be right back.
Stand out online? Get your .fm domain. Perfect for streaming your music, building your social community, hosting your podcast, or broadcasting your brand. .fm, it's your online destination. Get yours today at www.get.fm.
And we thank .fm for helping us get to you in this InFOCUS video podcast. This is Adam R. Jacobson from Streamline Publishing's Radio and Television Business Report. You can find us at RBR.com. And we're back with Steve Jones, the president and CEO, and now full owner of Skyview Networks. Let's talk a little bit about the Cocktails and Conversation event, which is again scheduled to be a key gathering place for radio industry professionals during the NAB Show. Steve, what do you think will be among the key conversations for those in attendance? And we know there's an abundance of things to talk about regarding the industry's future alone, let alone the New York Mets and how they're starting the season. What do you think is really on the top of minds of some of the clients that you've been speaking with over the last few weeks?
So, Adam, I think the dominant theme is really attention. So how audio is going to compete and win in a world that is cluttered with screens and noise and choice. So I expect there'll be a lot of discussion around trust, dashboards, connected cars, AI's role in content creation and monetization. But very importantly, how radio continues to deliver something that is increasingly rare, and that's real attention at scale. So there's also a very practical conversation happening around sustainability, how companies are evolving their business. I mean, going to the NAB always is an opportunity to peek into the future. But what makes radio effective is, again, the fact that we are able to maintain this unique position with our listeners and for our advertisers to capture attention in an increasingly attention deficit society.
How can one secure entry into this invitation-only event? And I know last couple of years, we've had a massive amount of people in that Capitol Grill space that we use in Fashion Show Las Vegas. What would be the easiest way to make sure that they get room in the room?
Well, at one point, a long time ago, I DJ'd at Studio 54. And so I have some familiarity with how the doormen would stand on the top step there and they would pick Bianca Jagger and all the beautiful people that come in. You don't have to do that for this event. It's invitation only, but and it does tend to reach capacity. And that's just because we try and keep it intimate. We want leaders, partners, and others to come. So it's not about scale. But if you want to send me an email, steve.jones@skyviewsat.com, I'll make sure that we get you on the list if you email soonest. So, and it's a great event. Everyone gets to circulate, and it's high quality engagement.
Steve, let me ask you something. If you had a magic wand and you could wish one thing true for the radio industry, given all of the regulatory desires still on the plate, all the discussion topics that are likely going to be seen in Las Vegas, what is the biggest thing for Skyview or for you as it pertains to the continued access of favorite audio content by Americans across the U.S.? Because I think that securing radio in the dashboard has got to be priority one.
I think I would agree with you that securing radio's place in the dashboard is definitely a part of it. At a deeper level, I would say the continued sort of frictionless access to trusted audio wherever consumers are is really important. I mean, radio is always succeeding where it's accessible and woven very naturally into daily life, whether that's in the car or a smart speaker or through some future platforms that haven't even perhaps been imagined yet. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of that at NAB. So the goal has always been to ensure that audiences can reach the content that they rely on without any barriers. And that very much would be my hope. And for Skyview, Adam, that means that we're focusing relentlessly pretty much on distribution, technology, as I mentioned, and partnerships with key clients and members and leaders in this industry to ensure that we both protect and expand that access. And the NAB does a terrific job in their leadership, and this is their conference, but I think it's always important when we're there also to recognize the leadership position they show and the great work they do in behalf of all of us.
Any closing thoughts or anything else you're looking forward to when we all gather in Las Vegas?
Despite the discussion that is omnipresent about technology, at the end of the day, business comes down to human relationships and those engagements. And I know that for many people, travel is an expense that sometimes is difficult to secure. But I would say that if you're able to go to the NAB show and mingle with your colleagues, you'll be enriched by the experience. You'll feed off the energy. It's a great investment of your time. And I would also ask that if you're there Wednesday morning, you come to the free leadership breakfast that the Broadcasters Foundation of America hosts. Mm-hmm. We'll be honoring 6 of our colleagues with leadership awards. It's at 7 a.m. At the Encore. You can go to the Broadcasters Foundation of America website and register for free. And that's another great way to be with decision makers, leaders, and also to honor those colleagues of ours that are really stepping forward and into the space for the benefit of all of us.
Thank you for mentioning that, Steve. And thank you for being on this podcast. It really was a pleasure.
Thanks, Adam. Always good to speak with you. See you at NAB.
Thank you again. That was Steve Jones from Skyview Networks. And with that concludes this InFOCUS video podcast presented by .fm, streaming, social, podcast, or broadcast. Get a .fm domain name by getting over to get.fm today. And be sure to follow and subscribe to this podcast on YouTube and tell a friend. From Streamline Publishing's global headquarters here in Boca Raton, Florida, I'm Adam R. Jacobson for the InFOCUS podcast. And yes, you can find me in Las Vegas covering the 2026 NAB show from April 19th to the 21st, with coverage appearing in our upcoming summer 2026 Radio and Television Business Report magazine. That appears May 11th, just in time for the Media Finance Management MFM and FEI Financial Leaders Forum in San Antonio. On behalf of the entire team here at the Radio and Television Business Report, make this your peaceful day. I'm Adam R. Jacobson. Thanks so much for watching.